We're going to talk a little bit about In Your House. 1995 is a transitional year for the company, not only behind the scenes, but what the fans are seeing. We've had sort of the big five, I guess we'll call them. Of course, we know we had Royal Rumble and we had King of the Ring and SummerSlam and Survivor Series, and who could forget WrestleMania? But 95 brings around a new idea. Instead of these big 5 3-hour shows at $29.95, now we're going to have monthly 2-hour shows starting at $14.95. Now this starts in May, and I'm curious, what do you think of this idea? Once upon a time, it was a foreign concept to have one pay-per-view in wrestling. Vince made it standard to have 4, expanded to 5 with the addition of King of the Ring. But now we're saying, all right, we'll make it a little more affordable, but we're going to do them every month. Are you an advocate of that, Jim?
Yeah. I thought we'd outpriced what the market was going to support. That was my opinion on it. This is just a smaller ticket item. You can buy it more frequently. If you had a pay-per-view every month, my theory of booking in advance, having your destination established, and in the WWE world, that would have been WrestleMania. Now it's premium live. It's a whole different configuration. So, but yeah, I thought it was a good idea because it made it affordable for volume buying. It's kind of like, opening your own Costco or Walmart or something along those lines. Those big companies that sell a lot of product. So, yeah, I thought it was. Here's the thing, Conrad. We were losing money. We had to change the model. We had to change some of the numbers. And I thought this was an opportunity to create more volume at $14.95 than not.
We debut it in Syracuse, New York with Diesel and Sid for the world title. That's May of 95. June, of course, is going to be King of the Ring. But In Your House 2 is where we see the Nashville show. And what everybody's talking about is not Diesel and Sid with the Lumberjacks. It's the fabulous match with Jeff Jarrett and Shawn Michaels. To this day, Jeff Jarrett thinks it might be the match he's most proud of. He and Shawn tore the house down. And that was also supposed to be the show where they started the backstage frustration between Double J and the Roadie. They were going to do this Milli Vanilli expose.
Right.
And it would be revealed that.
Now that was Bruce. That's a lot of Bruce right there. The music, Road Dogg, all that stuff. Bruce was very involved and innovative in the creative of that storyline because it had a lot of moving parts and it was new territory. And there were some people there that saw the star of that group. It's the one on the right, Road Dogg, and he's proven to be pretty damn valuable as a booker type guy. And Jeff had been around for so long, and he couldn't still work. He's a hell of a worker. He still is. The thing about Jeff Jarrett is he's still a hell of a worker.
Oh yeah.
And I'm wondering why we don't see him more. So, but anyway, maybe I'll see him this weekend. Who knows? You never know. It's wrestling.
Oh yeah, he's going to be there. He is indeed going to be at Forbidden Door. So,
well, I want to know, is his wife going to be there?
Well, she's going to be there.
She's a lot more fun to hang around than him. I'm kidding. I like Jeff. I didn't always like him, but I like him now.
Let's talk just a little bit about that angle with the benefit of hindsight. I mean, it's pretty plain to see that Jeff was talking to his dad, Jerry, and Jerry was talking to Wade Keller at the Torch. Yeah. And Jerry would explain to Wade at the Torch that the trajectory of this storyline just didn't make much sense to Jeff from a long-term storytelling perspective. The idea being that it would climax right away with Roadie getting the ultimate comeuppance for Jeff, exposing who really sang the song, and then the subsequent program really couldn't live up to that. And this all happens after Jeff just dropped the Intercontinental title in his hometown of Nashville and was exposed as a fraud in his hometown of Nashville. So I could see why Jeff and Jerry might say, and this is an old tried and true thing we hear with old time wrestlers all the time. And then what? Where do we go from there?
Oh yeah.
So like once it's exposed, where would the Jeff Jarrett Double J character go after this? It doesn't sound like they had a real plan, one that at least Jeff was comfortable with.
Yeah.
Well, I know at the time, man, everybody had a lot of heat with Jeff because he walked out after that In Your House too, and he took the roadie with him. So Brian James and Jeff are gonna be in his dad's hot tub by the time the pay-per-view comes to a close. They've walked out on Vince McMahon. What did you think of the creative then, and has your opinion changed on it since?
I think that when you have talented people like Jeff Jarrett, and Road Dogg, if you're motivated as a creator, as a booker, as a creative team member, you'll figure it out. You'll find it out. Do I know the answer right now today? All I know is that I'm going to use Jeff Jarrett and Road Dogg up all the way up to their abilities and more, because those are two talented guys. Jeff was waiting to make it on the national stage. Road Dogg had never been given that opportunity. So you find something. You find something. You get in the studio and you start playing your music, and you see and you collaborate. And so I don't know what the answer is, but I know that there's many out there. I believe that then, I believe it now.
It is interesting to think, hey, would there have been a better way to do that? We need to ask Bruce and Jeff about that, like some sort of alternative creative that could have worked. When Jeff does walk out on the company, is that just the talk of the locker room? Is that the talk of the company when he walks out? How do you remember Vince responding to that? And what did JJ Dillon, and just what was the chatter inside the office, inside the tent?
Nobody said a lot. It's surprising. I would have thought just the opposite. Jeff's friends or territory buddies, guys that are a little bit more old school, or more emotionally invested in it than a lot of the new guys, because they had not been around Jeff long enough to develop the relationship that he would eventually have with talents today, and so forth. So there was two sides of the aisle. Some didn't give a shit because they looked at it as a better opportunity for them to advance up the card by one of the better workers that we had being gone, being out of the equation. And then you had others that saw the talent in Jeff, which he had an abundance of, that couldn't figure out why he wasn't being used. I don't know, and Jeff could answer this to you better on his podcast, because I don't know the answer. And I don't know if Jeff and Vince had issues, and if they did, you know what it was about. The two C's, cash and creative.
That's right.
So I don't know. It's hard to answer that question, Conrad, to be honest with you. But I as someone who has booked cards and helped write pay-per-views and manage a talented talent roster, I figured something out. You just don't. He's an asset. You get him his touches, as they say in football, because he's a game breaker. He's never going to go out there and stink up the joint ever. Jeff was a lot like Bret Hart in the skill level that they could have great matches with anybody. And ironically, I still have the opinion that in the right scenario, in the right position, in the right build, that Jeff could have a successful, profitable run in AEW still to this day.
SaveWithConrad.com.
My name is Sergio. I'm from Lancaster in California. The motivation behind just following through with this refinance was I have a baby on the way. So just wanted to get everything in order. In the past couple of years, just afraid to pull the trigger, but then it just seemed like the right time to do it. I went to multiple banks, not only the mortgage I had, but then I went to you, and then I also went to several others. And it just seemed like your team, they were just completely honest and outright. Also, all the information was just laid out for me right there and then, answering all my questions in a timely, efficient manner. Diane was just so helpful and above and beyond accessible with both texting and emails and just any information that they needed. She would explain to me what exactly they wanted me to send. And then if there were any issues, she was able to just resolve them pretty quickly versus other companies that sometimes it would take a couple of days to get some information. We were looking to pay down some debt, also looking into making some improvements to the home, also build up our backyard, do everything, especially for our daughter coming. By doing this cash out, it's a good amount that we're saving, between $1,000 and $1,500 a month, I would say. It helped out tremendously as well. My name's Sergio. I'm from Lancaster, California, and I saved over $1,500 a month with SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.